Welcome everyone, it is Andrew here for Apple Insider. Apple just had their large education-focused event where they came out not only with a brand new budget iPad, but a suite of other software enhancements and frameworks that are sure to build the way for years to come. After their main presentation, Apple had a large hands-on area. We could go join Apple experts and creatives and try out the new iPad as well as all the new software applications. You could draw, create music, create a movie, all of course on the newest iPad. So what was the new iPad like? Well, if you've used an iPad in the past, you've pretty much used the new iPad. There isn't a whole lot of new exciting things here. The biggest changes come in the form of Apple Pencil support and that beefed up A10 Fusion processor. Of course, that's the same chip we saw in the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. Other than that, a lot of stuff has stayed the same between this iPad and the one introduced a year ago. The biggest thing to stay the same is the price point. It is still $329. Of course, if you're a student or a teacher or a school, you can get that for even less at $299, but still the same prices we saw in the past. It's still relatively light, easily portable, and has the same 10-hour battery life. It did seem like it moved pretty smoothly. It was pretty quick, though I noticed a little bit of stuttering when I was working in clips. As far as the live translation goes, it definitely was a little bit quicker on my iPad Pro than it is on this budget iPad. Apple Pencil support is definitely welcomed, though the Apple Pencil still retained that $99 price point. It would have been nice to see a little bit of a cheaper alternative other than the Logitech Crayon that is also launching. The screen, it's still good, but it's not a fully laminated display like we see on the iPad Pros. It's still one different. There's still just a little bit of distance between the screen and the actual glass that you're touching. The camera is still the same camera we saw in the past, 8 megapixels with 1080p video capabilities, though it's still not the 4K shooter that we're seeing on other iPads, though it does sit flush against the back of the iPad, so that is definitely a good thing. To go along with this new education-focused iPad, there's also a complete update to the iWork suite. Notably, you can now draw and write with Apple Pencil. Of course, if you don't have an Apple Pencil, you can still use your finger to make those annotations. And one of the coolest features, which is launching still in beta, is known as Smart Annotation. So basically you can annotate something like highlight a word, and then as your document changes, as that word moves down the page, up the page, as you change things, your annotation will stick with it and move. So a whole lot more intuitive than maybe just annotating on top of a PDF in Adobe. There's also some pretty cool collaboration tools where you can work on a document together, everyone can collaborate, works really nicely. In Pages, you can actually create books now, and that works both here on the iPad as well as on the Mac. And accompanying that feature is a whole lot of templates you can get started right out of the box in creating your new book. Being able to write and draw in these presentation tools and word processing stuff is actually really cool, and it works really well across them all. So not just in Pages, but in Numbers and Keynote as well. In Keynote, you can actually animate all those drawings as you go between slides in your presentation. Following along with that trend, Apple also introduced a few changes to Clips as well as to Garageband, mostly focusing on things for schools. So in Garageband, a whole bunch of new loop tracks and live loops were added. So things like space mixes and animal sounds. So you can obviously use those in a lot of presentations and school assignments, maybe not as much for your personal use outside of the classroom. Clips was updated with 4 additional live title styles with new fonts, colors, and layouts, new animated labels, 9 new stickers including scribbles, arrows, circles, underlining, and of course new posters for animating live cards, 2 new selfie scenes for the iPhone 10 with Disney Pixar built in there including Finding Dory and the Scare Floor from Monsters Inc., and a few other small changes. All of that, again, is really focused on the education. So being able to implement these into the classroom using Apple's new Everyone Can Create program, where teachers are able to kind of draw on all of these different things into building their curriculum for their students and hopefully make it more intuitive and interactive. Let us know what you think of Apple's latest iPad down below in the comments.
If you enjoyed this video, like it and hit that subscribe button. Also, check out our price guide, which makes it extremely easy to find the best deals on Apple products updated daily. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we'll see you in the next video.